For those of you listening in, speaking with Jay Scruggs, and he is the owner of Here Comes the Groom. Jay is also the creator of Super Style Sessions, the DVDs that are inside the course to become a certified dog groomer at Animal Behavior College. Jay, tell us how you got into the grooming industry.
Okay, so basically I was in my third year of college, and my parents were tired of me wasting their money pretty much. So my mom found this grooming school or this grooming course in Lexington, Kentucky, and asked me if I wanted to take a semester of college off and attend. So I decided to do so, and the rest is, I just fell in love with it and kind of found my passion and been doing it ever since 21 years ago.
So once you got going, you went through the course, and then how did you know grooming was really something that drew you in?
Actually, I think I knew the first couple of days I started the school, because I was always around animals, always loved animals, and worked for a vet all through high school. And I think it gives you something that, for creative people, I think the creative people or the artsy people, it gives you kind of an outlet as opposed to being a veterinarian where you're working on sick animals or that sort of thing. So I know a lot of my friends that are in the industry have always been sort of artistic, and then they combined the two and became a professional groomer.
So you've been a groomer for over 20 years now?
Yeah.
So what do you like absolutely the most about being a professional pet groomer?
I think the best thing I like is just the freedom. Well, I own my own business, and I'm a mobile groomer, so I like the freedom of being, able to own my own business and set my own hours, and also like just working with the animals themselves. So, someone coming into it, that loves dogs and maybe creative, maybe not. I always suggest, they go maybe go to a grooming shop or go to a grooming school or something like that, and just kind of see on inside or watch videos online and kind of get a feel for what we do before they jump into it. But I think it's definitely a great avenue for people who are kind of searching for something they want to do in the field with pets.
You mentioned that you have a mobile grooming business. How hard is it to get started once you've, say, gotten your certification and a little bit of experience under your belt to transition into actually having your own mobile unit?
Right. For me, I don't think it's hard at all. The thing is, if you do nice work, even if you're coming out of school and not doing very many dogs a day, you can build your business or build your clientele up and build it up by just adding an extra dog every day till you get up to whatever level you want to be. But I found the transition just to be pretty easy because there's so many people out there looking for a good pet groomer. Even I have people ask me all the time, how many there are in the area where I am, and there are a ton of mobile groomers where I am, but I'm busy all year long. So I think most of the others are as well. So there's always plenty of dogs to go around.
It definitely seems like there's always a demand for good quality groomers.
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
industry.
Absolutely.
I read a lot of articles about that. We've actually written a few on the blog.
Right. But if you come out of school and you do, most schools, they teach you the basics and the fundamentals, and if they teach you to do neat, clean, proper bathing, drying techniques, that goes a long way as far as, the money you'll make and the avenues you can take once you get out, and get out there on your own.
What are some tips that you would give somebody that's just coming out to be able to add that one extra dog client a day, like you were saying?
Okay, I would to get their speed up, to build their speed up. So I would say the best thing to do is with each dog you should have a pattern. You should start, like if you do your sanitaries first, do your, try to use whatever you're doing your 10-blade work with, do all of that once and then switch to your next blade that you're using. So I usually have a certain method I do on each dog. I do feet, ears, sanitary first, and then I do the body clipping, and I just have a worker on each dog and a certain method that I use from start to finish, and that tends to help me be a little bit faster with my work because so many people get caught up and they start jumping around and what they kind of lose focus of, how to get from point A to point B.
Okay, so everything needs to be systematic to be efficient at
Yes.
going through multiple pets in a day.
Yes.
That's cool. Very good advice. Very good advice. When you're looking to hire, what are some qualities that you look for in somebody that really wants to get in the niche that's already gotten their certification and now needs that extra professional experience under their belt?
Right. Well, for me personally, I don't have any employees, but I interact with a lot of people who hire and fire and that sort of thing. The best thing, know your breed standards, read your AKC book, watch your videos, because the first thing they're going to do when you're going to interview for a job is probably give you a dog to groom, and you want to make sure you know as much about the breed and all breeds in general. Even if you've never groomed that breed before, if you know the breed standards, that's going to help you in the long run. And I know as pet groomers we don't always dress nice because we're filled with dog hair all day, but you can wear a nice smock. Just be professional looking and treat it as a business or as a professional business, not just another job. And I think that goes a long way, just your appearance.
When a person is first out and let's say they have 5 to 7 clients that they're working with on a monthly basis, how should they go about setting their prices and what they should be charging per dog?
Okay, I would say it really depends on the area you're in. I would call around. I would find out what other shops or, other mobile businesses are charging. And then, you don't want to be lower than everybody else where you're trying to build your business by undercutting the other groomers out there because, like I said, there are plenty of dogs to go around. But you don't want to be too high where you price yourself out of, getting that client. But, gosh, it's just, I think it's one of those things that's kind of trial and error, to find that happy medium where, you need to make what you're worth, but you don't want to spend 2 hours on a toy poodle. So a lot of times people will charge. I know a lot of shops that will charge. Basically, the groomers are charged, or they charge for the grooming by the hour. So, if it takes them a whole hour and they charge $60, then they're making about $60 an hour per groom. But I myself would do it based on the breed and, what type of trim they're in, how often the dog comes in between appointments, and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's some great advice. So if somebody was to do like you were saying, where they know each type of breed, they know what the cuts need to be, they have a system to do it quickly and efficiently and have good quality work, then they can determine, okay, I already know how long it would take. If I see this dog once a month, then I should be able to set
right.
my price at said range.
If it's the same dog, but say, if you do a poodle, it may take you an hour, and you have someone that calls in with the same size poodle, and it's done the same amount of time in between appointments, you really have to know the coat type and the disposition of the dog before, you can give them a price. So I would never quote them a price without having the dog there, and, I usually groom them first and then let them know what the price would be, so I give them a price range. Otherwise, if you get a dog that takes you a lot longer than it should because it's matted or whatnot, then you kind of limited yourself to the price, and you get stuck on that price.
That's some great advice. You never want to be competing on the price in any business.
Exactly.
And I think you just nailed it, too, because like you said, 2 of the same breeds, disposition of the dog and how often they come in, it could change
right.
how much work
right.
you have to put
in. And people aren't always honest with you. They may say, I have my dog groomed every month, or I brush my dog every day, and you see it, and it hasn't been touched in 6 months.
Do you have a favorite breed that you like to groom?
Probably standard poodles, just because they, I think their coats are kind of a challenge to work on, and you can do so much, creatively with their coats, and, each one of them looks different, so that's probably my favorite, and their disposition as far as, they stand pretty much like statues on the table, so that's probably my favorite one to groom.
I know you said you do mobile grooming. What do you think some of the advantages mobile groomers have versus the traditional brick-and-mortar grooming locations?
Oh gosh, I would say a lot. For me, I'm working on one dog at a time. I don't have a multitude of dogs coming in and out of the shop, so you don't have people coming in wanting to talk to you. So, you're by yourself. Some people don't like that. Some people like the shop environment, but I like being by myself, working on one dog at a time because I feel they get better attention that way, and you can concentrate more on what you're doing. You don't have the overhead of a shop. You do have like your van payment and insurance and everything. But I think if you get a van in 5 years, it's paid for, and you've been in good shape and good condition, and then you can start putting that money aside for something else. Rather, in brick and mortar, you're usually on a lease, and you're paying the longevity of your business. You're paying month to month for however long you have that business there.
What are the most common breeds that you come across every single day or every week?
Most common. Okay, I think it really depends on the area you're in, the area of the country you're in. Where I am in Tennessee, we do a lot of schnauzers, a lot of poodles, a lot of Bichons, a lot of doodles, the labradoodles and golden doodles. But I have different parts. I have a friend in Massachusetts, and she does a ton of terriers, which we don't do a whole lot of terriers where we are here. But, like 80% of her clientele are terriers. So I think it just depends on the region you're in.
I know you travel for trade shows and whatnot, but when you're doing your regular routine grooming clients, do you travel very far outside your local area, or?
No, I'm within probably a 15-mile radius all the way around where all of my customer base is. So I don't travel far at all from one stop to the next. Yeah, and if you're traveling, you're wasting gas, and you're wasting time that you could be spending on grooming another. Try to schedule all of my appointments within a few miles of each other anyway.
We talked a little bit about how rapidly the grooming industry is constantly growing, and there's always a demand for top quality professionals that know what they're doing.
Yes.
What do you see the advantage being in the marketplace today in 2014 versus maybe when you first got out of school 15, 20 years ago?
I think when I first got out of school, I really don't think – I know pets have always been popular, and I think nowadays people spend more money on their pets than anything else, and I think it's more of a priority to have them, especially the clientele that we try to cater to. So, I think, like I said, people are spending more money, so, of course, there's more demand for groomers because there are more dogs, and, there are more multiple dog families, and I think the professionalism side of it has also grown just with the education and the awareness of what we do, as opposed to when I first started, people would look at me like, oh, you're a dog groomer? Oh, God, that job has to stink, So I think there's a lot more respect for the professional groomer now.
Do you ever get into the creative color painting looking?
I do not. No. I think a lot of it is being a male in the industry, and that's a little bit too kind of foo-foo for me, So I don't do nail polish, I don't do color, I don't do the blow pins or anything like that. But if you do, you can make a lot of money doing it. If you have an area where you have a kind of a clientele that would demand that. I know a lot of creative groomers that make a lot of money, just doing the extra little, splotch of color on the dog, even all the way up to the full color.
So that's a good point. It sounds like it really, if you want to be successful at grooming, you really need to know the marketplace that you're grooming and who your clientele is.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. And my clients, I probably have some would do that, but it wouldn't be an excessive amount of them to, for me to spend the time and the effort to do it. So, but, if you do add-on services like that, you need to make sure you charge for it, because so many people give that stuff away. And, it's just like anywhere else you go. If you have, something done to your car and they put an air filter on during an oil change, it's an add-on service, so you need to make sure you charge for that.
As far as problems that you see or struggles that you see a new groomer in the industry is having, what are some of the common things that they're struggling with that they should try to focus more?
I think the biggest thing is speed and time, because so many new groomers are spending too much time really bathing and drying. Is for the most part they're spending most of their time on, which slows them down, which makes them they're making less money because they are spending so much time. So I think it's so important for them to learn the proper bathing and brushing techniques when in school, and then they can apply that when they get out. And I think also they spend too much time as far as, I know you want to pay attention to detail, but a lot of them are so particular about getting it just right every single time, and a lot of times you have to just do the best job you can and move on instead of just focusing on that one area where a lot of people get stuck on, which is usually the head.
Knowing the breed and what the cut should be, right?
Exactly. Because when you first get out of school, you're not real sure about every breed or every headpiece or body style, and so a lot of times you're thinking of what you're doing instead of, once you get a good idea of what you're doing and how to do it. I mean, I don't even think when I groom anymore. Especially right out of school, I would think so much about the breed standard and what this dog's supposed to look like, and now I can just. I don't even think about it. I can just do it.
What brought it on for you to create the tutorial and instructional videos to help other people get into the industry and learn the proper ways of doing this stuff?
Well, I think myself or Sue, we do super styling sessions DVDs, and you can go on YouTube or online and check them out and kind of see what we do. But I think it was we would go to so many shows and so many seminars, and we also competed, and people saw what we did and wanted to learn how we did it. And there's just not enough time in a 1-hour seminar to teach everything about whatever breed you're working on. So we everybody was always asking if they could get a video or if they could video us. So we decided to create a DVD library so people could go and brush up on their skills or learn how to do certain breeds or certain techniques, and that's really why we did it, just to kind of give back to the industry for all of the knowledge that we had gained throughout the years.
One last question for you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about what it's like to travel and circuit and compete in competition.
Compete?
Okay.
Yeah. I first started competing when I was still in school, so it's something that you either love, you're either going to love it or you're not going to do it again. And I always tell people, if you're considering doing it, go into like a first-timer competition or a novice competition and just see how you like it. You'll know from the get-go if you like it or not. And usually those people that are highly competitive and challenge themselves and push themselves, those are the ones who will want to they'll get in the competition ring and just want to compete. And the best thing you can do is once you compete, get a good critique from your judge, and that will help you the next time you go in the ring. But I would, if you have someone in your shop or you feel like you're a competitive groomer, I would try it because it can only make you better. And I mean, I've learned so much I've traveled all over the world competing and judging, and it's just opened up so many doors for me. And I think it also makes you a better groomer when you do compete at a high level. So it just makes you want to get better every time you go in the ring and every time you groom a dog at home.
Right on. Well, thank you for your time today, Jay. That was a session.
Oh, you're welcome.
For Talk with a Groomer, and that's Jay Scruggs, the owner of Here Comes the Groom and the creator of Super Styling Sessions with his partner, Sue. Is that correct?
Yes, Sue Zecca.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jay. Did you have any questions for us before we let you go?
I think I'm good.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.